All right, we're getting really specific with these fan questions, Janusz, I'm sorry to say, but you're going to have to try and give me your best here. The percentage chance of Inter Milan beating Man City or Real Madrid, the percentage chance out of 100%.
I'd still give him, you know, 30-40%. You know, I would almost want to say higher, because sometimes you feel it, you know, and I don't want to call this destiny, because I don't know that at any point I could say that Inter was the team of destiny, right? I mean, they did have a couple opponents, you know, maybe not of the highest level, but it's just that DNA, and maybe I'm influenced by my age a little bit. The Inter teams that I remember and know, and the way they can frustrate you, just feels that they will have a say in that, right? But I still think that if it's Real Madrid or Manchester City, you know, they're just a little bit deeper. Although this is a pretty deep Inter team that we often don't talk about.
Yeah, I'm with you on the 30-40% as well. And it's a final, everybody. Neutral ground, Istanbul. It's going to be very interesting to see who they face, whether it's Real Madrid or Manchester City. Hey, one final question about Inter Milan for a second, more from a transfer speculation. Do you see Lautaro Martinez leaving this summer? He's a major target for many Premier League clubs, Chelsea included. Do you think he's staying, going? What do you think?
Look, you know, I mean, he could have gone before that, right? You've mentioned there's been some issues, ongoing issues with Inter. It's not like this is a team with any sort of money. Sunik there, if I remember
they need
correctly,
to sell, always.
They continue to sell players. They want to sell themselves. They're always looking for investors. And yet they're able to kind of put together this very good squad of players, and a lot of these players could be leaving, but yet they're staying. So it just makes me wonder, because I mean, if they win it, I don't know if they will go. If they don't, that's sometimes you know, sometimes you want to have a second go and maybe, you know, do something not just in the Champions League but win the Scudetto as well, which I think, as I've said, they look back at the last 2 years and they have to wonder, how did Milan and Napoli win it and not them? Yeah. So I don't know. Inter is funny. Don't you think Lautaro Martinez could have left already? Then you have Lukaku, who did leave, and then no, I want to get back to Serie A. I want to get back to Inter. That usually doesn't happen. And you know, and I look at players like Brozovic, Barella, today I look at Barella. I feel the same way. Looked at his stats, and he didn't really win that many balls per se, but his presence alone creates so much chaos that the opposition gives the balls away. He pressures players into mistakes. And then Mkhitaryan, you know, coming from Roma, we sort of forgot about him, right? But, you know, in Roma, great season. He comes in, continues to grow. And almost anywhere you look, Di Marco, I mean, come on. I mean, I know Di Marco, but I never thought of him as that sort of a player. Dumfries now reminds me of when was he so good? That was European Championships. Remember when he came on the scene? It wasn't the World Cup. I mean, we were like Dumfries, and he struggled with that team, had to fight and win his position here, because remember, he didn't always play. I think it was Darmian, when all the central backs were healthy. You had Darmian playing on that side as well. So, you know, maybe it's just one of those teams, and you see this atmosphere, right? And you see the love. It's sometimes difficult to leave teams like that.
Yeah,
and I'm sure they're not going to go broke either. So
it's always a team. Whenever you're a team that's always thinking about selling as well, it's always tricky. But the emotional plug is definitely very interesting. Hey, fun fact about Denzel Dumfries: he's named after Denzel Washington. Mm-hmm. I interviewed him last year, and I asked him to give me his favorite Denzel Washington movie. He couldn't think of it. Forgot about the interview. Whatever. A day later, he sends me a DM, and he goes, "LME. It's The Equalizer," out of nowhere.
I don't know what my favorite was. I don't have a good memory for that.
Come on, Training Day, The Hurricane. Remember the Titans, Janusz Michallik?
Oh, yes, that one. Yeah, that's good. But I'm terrible with names of movies and artists and all that in general. Only football players.
Only football players. All right, before we wrap up, very, very quickly, just give me a quick overlook. What do you expect tomorrow, Real Madrid, Man City?
I don't know. It feels to me that this is the time where not that they are, but I don't think Manchester City can be calculating. It's one of those games where you don't want to have any regrets. And even though it's Real Madrid, obviously you have to pay attention, not to their players. We've talked about the counterattack, which I'm sure Real Madrid will want to play in that way. But I almost think that it's you know, pedal to the metal, right? That type of performance from Manchester City from the beginning, using the crowd just a little bit, feeling probably the way they should feel, which is they're at their best right now. I mean, they're on the precipice of winning, a treble, I suppose. And the way they're going right now, be hard to tell me that it's not impossible for them. And if we believe that it's the last season of Gundogan and Bernardo Silva maybe leaving, there's some unfinished business. You have to say that, because I think Manchester City have been such a good team over the years that you'd like to think that they would have won this competition already. So my feeling is that it's going to be Manchester City sort of, I don't know if you remember that performance against Arsenal, right? Where you kind of want to make a point that, no, we are the boss here. It's going to be much harder against Real Madrid, but this sort of a performance, we're here, and it's ours. That's what I would do if I were Pep.
Well, it would be quite an achievement of the week if they indeed make it to the final once again, and in the weekend seal the Premier League. We're going to have to wait and see. But regardless, doesn't matter. Inter Milan is in the Champions League final for the first time since 2009, 2010. Fantastic to see an Italian team. We'll have to wait and see what happens in Istanbul. For now, Luis Miguel Echegaray, Janusz, Michallik, make sure to come back, by the way, because tomorrow my friend K. Murray as well and Janusz, they'll be back to talk about Real Madrid and Manchester City and much, much more later in the week as well. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and we will see you tomorrow. Till then, bye-bye.
Ciao.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.